Wanna play hide and seek? You hide, and I'll find you. You better hide very well, because I don't know what I'll do when I find ya. Okay, let's play. Let me count from 10. Ready? Ready or not, let's go! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm coming!
Welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful week. Amber and I would like to thank everybody for all the interactions that we've been getting. And in today's episode, we are going to be reading a viewer story. It takes place in Munith, Michigan. It was a late summer, early fall evening in the mid-1980s. As the sun was setting, my friends and I were in my woods hanging out at our fort/cabin that we had been building. Well, we all hated being in the woods after dark, so we decided to head up to the house. Once up there, one of the guys remembered that he left something in the fort that he wanted to go get. So I said, okay, let's go get it. We walked back in down one of the trails without issue. Then once at the fort, I heard my buddies yell out like they were scared, and then they yelled, "Run," which all three of us did as fast as we could. I didn't really see what had scared them so badly, just something vague out of the corner of my eye. When we got out of the woods, I asked them what they saw. The answer was a big black shadow person type thing. After much talking, we decided we would go back to the fort, but we would go in from the field as there was more light out there versus the woods. As we started walking back, we all noticed something standing at the edge of the fence row towards the west end of the field and noticed a large, dark person shadow standing near the woods. I said to my friends, "Hey, look at that." So we stopped and watched it for a long time. It was about 6 feet tall and about average width of an adult male. The strangest, scariest part was that it was all black with white spots all over it. Where the face would have been was just a black empty space. While watching, the thing lifted up its right arm parallel to the ground, and it was holding a staff of the same colors. We watched for quite a while, and then it was gone, or we ran away. I really don't remember at this point since it was so long ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of anything with that description. Maybe it was a cryptid. Maybe it was some magician or a wizard manifesting in the woods. Maybe he's seen a glitch in the Matrix.
You know, but that's creepier than anything.
The glitch in the Matrix stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like, or like actually seeing somebody go from one dimension to another. Maybe that like
the white spots makes me think of that, like it was
like energy.
Yeah, like it was manifesting. Whatever it was manifesting itself.
I understand why the viewer remembered it and it stayed with them. Not remembering how exactly you left, but not forgetting what you seen. I definitely see why that stayed with you. That would have stayed with me.
I don't think I would have went back in them woods.
I do have a question for the viewer. You can choose to email us back and answer or not. But I do have a question. Did you experience anything after seeing that? Like that it could have been something, a warning to something, or was there anything in that area around that time frame, like a missing person or something like that could have been related, that was a warning or something trying to show you or something was? That was my other thought.
Right, or possibly some creepo in the woods or something.
Right, like a costume.
No good.
In the 80s, the whole Tron thing was really big. So I remember there being costumes that had like reflective material. In the viewer's email that submitted it, they did mention this is one of many experiences that they've had. So I'm hoping as this viewer submits more, we get more pieces of the puzzle of what might be going in that woods. But this is just our first impressions of it as well. I don't have a explanation of other than somebody with ill intent. But if they were in the woods watching these kids play the whole time, and that's the interaction that they have to choose to have with them, is something that's just cryptic and creepy, that worries me a little bit. Or if it was something that they weren't supposed to see and seen anyway, like somebody.
Yeah, I'm also leaning towards the manifesting because the white spots.
I guess another question I would have was the white, like a flat white color, like it could have been a costume, or was it light that was showing up white through the blackness? This is why I love our channel, because there is so many things that it could be, and opening the conversation of what everybody's idea is of where hearing this personal experience, where does it take you?
Can you hear my dog? I hear my dog over there sounding like a demon playing with his face.
We do apologize for any background noise. We are people and poor and do not have a studio. We are recording in our homes where life happens.
And my dog's attached to my hip, so he's always next to me.
And I have a toddler that is always in the background, so
So if you hear something really creepy, it's probably the dog.
Jolene has been telling me that during editing she is catching extra voices in my recording side. So let us know if you guys hear any of that we didn't catch, like a voice that doesn't belong to me and her and wouldn't belong to. Like I said, I have a toddler, so a little kid voice in the background is probably just my kid, but a voice that you don't think would belong.
Or just sounds, not really always a voice. Just, I can't make out if it's just an actual, like, glitch, in the microphones or whatever, or if it's something different. It's really hard. But some of them I can't even edit out if I wanted to, so, because it's, over top of, like, when you're talking.
Strange, like, other than the 3-year-old running around in the background, there is no extra voices in the house when I record. The husband's usually sleeping, so wouldn't catch him on there. I have been hearing about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, random, like right at the moments where, that in between sleeping and awake.
Mm-hmm.
It always happens when I'm in that state. So it is various times, but it's always in that state where I'm just falling asleep that I hear, hey. For YouTube followers, you may have noticed a little extra content of me doing a pendulum session and an old crematory. The reason that I was there is my sister-in-law had told me that a long time ago, they had a knock on their door, and it was some people from a paranormal research agency that provided them information that they believed that their home may be haunted by a doctor that used to reside in the home. It was more of a mortician, a doctor, but from the information that they gave her, like he did perform like doctor services as well, which for the time frame of like mid 1800s to early 1900s, that would make sense that, if you're trained to embalm and things like that, you would understand how the human body works. So people may go to you for a doctor. And at one time, the dentist and the mortician were the same person. So, and that would have been around that time frame as well. So from that information, they had asked they could come in and investigate the home, and her parents had declined. But she said that she did retain the information, but she used it as a bookmarker in a library book and returned it to her local library. So she had lost all that original information that they had provided her. The information I looked up online, I couldn't find anything on her address in any internet searches. So I'm not sure where they may have got their information, or maybe it's still only recorded like on microfiche at the local library. I didn't dig a whole lot into it, but she wanted me to come over just to see what pretty much my general impression of the home was, because she's married to my brother. She's heard all of our stories about living on the house that was haunted and other experiences that family members have had. So she wanted me to come over just to get an impression of it. So I brought my pendulum over just to see by chance if we could get a response using it. But I didn't feel anything like extremely oppressive or heavy or even all that negative. There was no heaviness at all in the basement, which is where the crematory was. There there was a dark shadow that did seem to follow me. I noticed in the basement, but I also noticed it in the upstairs area as well. That it did seem to follow. Like if I was in the bathroom, I would see something dark dart out of the corner of my eye. Or if I was in the dining room, I seen the same thing. That that happened, but even where the crematory was, which is where the pendulum session was done, the only thing I kept hearing was like random, sounded like pebbles being thrown against like the ductwork, like almost attention getting type things. And upstairs was the same thing. It was little things thrown at me and only me. It was almost attention getting,
Like
like
playful?
almost like I had the feeling that it was a child. Um, just the size of the shadow I kept seeing, but it either didn't like me there or wanted my attention. I'm still on the fence of which one it was. I did let my sister-in-law know that I thought that a good cleansing, of spiritual cleansing of the home would probably be a good idea. Even maybe have some, or whatever their choice of religion may be, come in and do a blessing, just so anything that wants to leave can cross over, and anything, that kind of let you know right there if you're doing a blessing of something isn't what they're appearing to be, and is, negative spirit, it's going to irritate it. So you would definitely get a response right then. But I didn't, I had no Washington Street vibes from like that haunted house that we lived in. You knew as soon as you walked in, there was no person that walked in that house that didn't either feel something or experience something. I didn't get that same vibe. It wasn't like an energy pushback or anything like that. It was more of a who are you? Or like you and I talked before. I have a pretty good presence when I enter a room. Maybe that much energy offset whatever's energy's there. And I was like, who are you? And who are you coming in here with all that big stuff? Strong personalities do tend to create waves.
Yeah.
And I kind of think, just having a little time to not be in the situation and look back on it, that that may have all been all of what it was, is the who the hell are you type thing. But I didn't feel anything negative in the basement. Kept getting responses on the spirit box of tired and things like that. So I think it was just trying to tell us, I'm just too tired to deal with this shit or cross over. I'm just tired. And if it is energy that long or that old from that time frame that those paranormal investigators gave her, some of the other information that the paranormal investigators gave her was that possibly could have been responsible for the deaths of some town members, or there's something, some unexplained thing, possibly even murdered his wife or something like that. But I constantly, or what I reminded my sister-in-law of, is looking at stories through the lens of how things are today and the lens of history of how things were back then. And you have to think about time frame. It may not have been what people's impression was. Like maybe around that time frame there was also a lot of sicknesses that came in that they could have just blamed him for, that he had nothing to do with. Or if he was treated as like the town doctor and he noticed that maybe Ralph over there likes beating on his wife, so we're just gonna give Ralph a little arsenic and he's not gonna wake up and he can't beat on his wife no more. You never know what the situation was because it's so long ago. Nobody that was alive then is alive now, and you have to rely on a rumor that it could be a rumor attached to that person that's not true. And maybe that's why he can't cross over because you don't got the story right.
Right, wants to clear his name.
Right. And I couldn't get him to refer to himself as a doctor. It would like go like maybe a little bit, like kinda. But maybe that was it. And I explained to her maybe that was what he's trying to tell us, that he was just a mortician, but people came to him as a doctor. But again, we don't know. And then I don't know if we were really interacting with the spirit or not, or if it was just my energy that was making that pendulum move. I didn't get any like concrete, there's a ghost here, type things.
Right.
And that's the problem with when somebody has a personal experience, because my sister-in-law's had personal experiences there. Her, I got the impression that other family members have also had personal experiences there. I don't want to seem like I'm discounting anything that they've experienced because I was there one day and did experience some weird things. Like there's no reason that little pieces of paper or little pebbles should have been thrown at me. There was nothing in those areas that would have caused that, or like I even yelled out to my brother, "Hey, are you throwing things at me?" And he's like, "No, like leave me alone. I'm playing a game. Like I ain't got time to be throwing things at you."
That's what makes this stuff so interesting, in my opinion.
Even in the same home, like I don't get the dark, heavy feelings, but maybe she does.
Right.
And that's not for me to say that she's not experiencing that. That's not my place. But I can only say what I experienced or what I felt, and I didn't feel anything that I felt threatened against. More like, "What are you doing here? Who are you?" type energy, not "get the fuck out" type energy, which I felt "get the fuck out" energy before.
Yeah, that's usually a very strong energy. Like, strong, heavy, not good.
Like the haunted house that we lived in, how I knew that whatever was in the basement was not nice is when you walked in that basement and it didn't want you there, it was hard for you to walk in that basement. It felt like you were walking through something, and you would get instantly energetically drained. Like you were instantly tired. But if it, I don't know, I guess was sleeping or not caring much that day, it wouldn't feel quite so heavy. But yeah, if it didn't want you there, you knew.
Yeah, it wasn't shy to let you know, that's for sure.
If anybody else has any stories that you'd like us to read, again, you do not give us express permission in the email that you want us to use your name. We will not. So you can remain anonymous, but if you'd like to if any of you guys have any submissions you would like us to read, please send them to Cryptic Curiosities Viewer or crypticcuriosityviewers at gmail.com. If you don't give us permission to use your name explicitly in the email, we will not use your name, and you can remain anonymous. But I love hearing other people's experiences. I love hearing other people's take on the experience, just so there's this conversation going on that we are challenging what people's normal perceptions are. Because obviously, not everything is always as it seems.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, a share, and a follow, and don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, everybody, bye.